It was Elton. His eyes, fully dilated, looked dull green-black in the sun. His lips had parted to reveal his perfect teeth. A shiny brown beetle was stumbling through the whisker stubble on his cheek. One arm lay folded on his chest. The other, dislodged by Amy's fall, was flung aside, palm open. "I think he's dead," Amy whispered, watching the beetle's progress as if hypnotized. "He doesn't move at all." Axel swallowed but said nothing. His hat's gone, and his clothes, his gun, and those things he was wearing to protect his eyes. She inventoried those diminutions of Elton's status, convinced that no one willingly parted with precious possessions. But his shoes are still there. That's odd. The beetle had progressed to Elton's upper lip. Amy knelt and flicked the bug away into the high grass. Axel gagged. She peered up at him, shielding her eyes against the sun. "I've never seen a dead person before," he said apologetically. "Have you?" "I don't know. I've seen lots of people lying on the pavement, but I was never sure if they were dead or high or sleeping, and I never waited to find out." "Do you think the crazy killed him?" Amy looked at the body again. "He doesn't look hurt. Not from the front. His hair looks bloody. See? There in the back? Don't turn him over, please." "I wasn't going to." She stood up and shivered, although it was warm in the sun. "Should we just leave him here?" Axel sounded a little shocked. Amy nodded, surprised by the question. What else could they do? Besides, someone took his stuff, she reminded the boy. That means someone knows he's here. Maybe he lost his hat and things walking. Maybe he got sick from the sun and threw them away to get cool. "I don't think so." Amy took Axel's hand and tugged him away from the body. "Let's find our shoes and get away from here." Axel was very quiet for the rest of the day. Amy wasn't sure if he was mad at her or thinking about Elton being dead, or if he was just tired and hungry, as she was. She wasted little thought on the dead man. He had been an authority, an enemy. Now they didn't have to worry about him anymore. What they had to worry about was whoever killed him. It was that simple. Late in the afternoon, Axel found a patch of strawberries. Not the tiny wild variety, but descendants of plants once domesticated, their seeds bird-scattered. Birds had found these plants too. Many of the berries were pecked and partly eaten. Amy quickly learned the damaged fruit was the sweetest. Her respect for birds went up a notch. The berries were delicious and satisfied some of the hunger pangs, but even that didn't seem to cheer up Axel. Finally, she asked him what was wrong. "Nothing." "Why aren't you talking?" He went on eating berries, one by one. He was so quiet. The boy stared down at the red berries glowing in his hand. So still. "Don't think about it," Amy said. "You want him alive again, and following us?" "No." He took a deep breath and exhaled slowly. "But he didn't hit us or treat us bad. Maybe he was a good person." Amy said nothing, wondering if failure to inflict physical abuse qualified a person as good. She could think of a lot of people who had never hit her but whom she had never once thought of as good. "He probably only did what he was told to do," Axel went on in the face of her silence. Amy shook her head. Axel was a little weird. It probably came from growing up outside and not having to understand how people acted in the city. "I don't think that makes him good," she said slowly. "Machines do what you want them to do if you press the right buttons. That doesn't make them good. That just means they'll do what they were programmed to do, like Elton." "Don't you have any feelings?" Axel's question was an accusation. "Doesn't anything bother you, even somebody dying?" "It depends on who's dead," she said carefully. "If you're talking about Elton, he said if we ran he would kill us, remember? I don't think he followed us out here because he cared about us." "But he didn't hurt us, and he could have. And now he's all alone back there. Maybe his parents will wonder why he doesn't come home." "He's not you," she said, thinking she understood his moodiness. "I didn't mean that. Don't be stupid." "I'm not. You're imagining yourself lying dead in the grass. You're feeling sorry for yourself, not Elton. Besides, you don't even know if he has parents. Somebody must care. She wasn't sure if he meant care about himself or Elton. He looked angrily at her. I don't want to argue about him, Axel, she said. It won't change anything except to make things harder for us because we'll be mad at each other. Don't you even want to talk about it? No, not anymore. They sat a few minutes in uncomfortable silence, and then Axel said, I saw a dead dog once with eyes like that, all glazed and the pupils all open. Amy stared at the tri-leaf berry plant and saw Elton's face again. Did you? She said, and swallowed hard. Yes, it looks different on a person. They spent the night under a tree, chilled by dew and wind. Both of them had stomach aches from the acidic fruit. Axel lay curled up in a ball, and when he slept he cried and talked in his sleep in the same voice in which she had once heard him singing. She dreamed of Elton's face and the beetle and some great dark terror overhead that woke her with ragged breathing and left her afraid to go to sleep again. She spent the rest of the night sitting with her back against the pine trunk, finding comfort in its solidity. That day and the next were much the same. They walked on doggedly, existing on water and a few berries. Their feet were cut and swollen, all their muscles ached. Exhaustion was making them stupid. Amy's eyelids were badly swollen, and she was almost blind from sunburn. She trudged along, head down, all her energy concentrated on keeping on her feet, moving toward her goal. Hunger made Axel remember all his favorite dishes. Noodles and coleslaw, mashed potatoes and ham. Amy had no idea what he was talking about and could not be tortured by imagination. She didn't feel hungry anymore. In fact, she didn't feel much of anything so long as they kept moving. She resented every stop. Stopping meant giving the blisters and cuts a chance to dry or scab, and starting out again was harder each time. It might have been less painful to walk barefoot. Surely the swelling would have been reduced. But there was always the risk that stepping on glass would totally disable them. They walked over land once forested for centuries. Farming had destroyed the trees. Cities had destroyed the farms. Time had destroyed the cities. The land remained, slowly covering its degradation with new plant life. For many miles in all directions, they were the only humans, save one.